Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Esther Maynard Icon Award for 2023. I'm your host, Anne Rebert, for this evening. And I would like to especially welcome Ms. Sandra Osborne, President of the Barbados Olympic Association, Mr. Cameron Burke, who's the Vice President of the BOA as well, Ms. Erskine Simmons, Secretary General, Mr. Glenn Clark, the General Manager, of course, Ms. Venetia Cadogan, who is the Director of the National Olympic Academy, and other members of staff here at the BOA, Mr. William Warner, Program Officer for the Bureau of Gender Affairs, our nominees, Ms. June Rudder, Ms. Saima Payne, and I have to make a special mention of Ms. Marlene Hall. She's currently on sporting duty. And their guests, of course, our icons, Miss Esther Maynard. Of course, she's the person who the award is named after. We also have another icon in Miss Sonia O'Neill. I'd also like to make mention of Miss Kathy Harper Hall. She's also currently fulfilling sporting duties as well overseas. And members of the BOA's Women in Sport Commission, other specially invited guests, those join us via the Instagram and YouTube live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Of course, I mentioned that we're here in the Barbados Olympic Association's headquarters, and it's only fitting that the person to offer the welcome is the person who's welcomed us into her home. So I now invite Ms. Sandra Osborne to come and give brief remarks.
Well, let me start by apologizing for my voice, and I hope that it doesn't give out. I've been struggling a bit here. But good evening, friends in sport. A warm welcome to our guests, in particular, on behalf of the board, management, and staff of the Barbados Olympic Association and the members of the BOA's Women in Sport Commission, the organizers of this evening's event. I am pleased to recognize our special guests, Mr. William Warner, Program Officer, Bureau of Gender Affairs, Mr. Carl Padmore, I'm not seeing Mr. Padmore as yet, from the Netball Association, Ms. Aisha Maycock, Assistant Secretary, Athletics Association of Barbados, Mrs. Esther Maynard, the icon in whose honor this award was created in 2020, Ms. Sonia O'Neill, recipient of last year's Icon Award. Nominees for this year's award, Ms. Yaima Payne and Mrs. June Rudder, and of course, we heard that Marlene Hall is overseas. Ladies and gentlemen, present with us at the BOA Museum and those joining us via live stream on Facebook and YouTube. Mr. Padmore, a warm welcome to you. A warm welcome. So good to have you. Vice President of the Barbados Netball Association. Sport will always be one of the most powerful platforms for inspiring young people in general, and women and girls in particular. This award gives us an opportunity every year to celebrate excellence. This is the fourth year that we are recognizing a woman in sport who exemplifies all the qualities of the person in whose honor this award was created and who was the recipient of the first award, Esther Maynard. The best way to describe Esther is this figure. Call her this figure. Larger than life, but at the same time petite, who has been playing a pivotal role in sport locally, regionally, and internationally in multiple capacities for a significant period of time. In Esther's case, it's over 5 decades and counting. It must be close to 6 decades by now. So this is the standard against which we judge all subsequent awardees. No pressure, ladies, no pressure. But it is simply the high benchmark established by Esther. I am, however, pleased to say that successive awardees, Kathy Harper Hall and Sonia O'Neill, have been as equally deserving as this year's nominees, all of whom have impressive resumes and have blazed the trail in their own way. So sport is in good hands. The significance of conferring this award in March is not to be lost, as it is an extended celebration of International Women's Day and the 2023 theme, Embrace Equity. It presents an opportunity for us to recognize women who, through their work, are actually making a difference in the fight for gender parity. I look forward to hearing the stories of this evening's nominees, as it is very important for us to celebrate and share the stories of our iconic sportswomen, those whose contributions have in multiple ways uplifted so many young people by offering them the opportunity to compete and excel, and who have contributed to their sport at the highest levels and in the process become role models. I extend congratulations to the yet-to-be-named winner on this well-deserved award and to the nominees on earning the nomination. And I thank all of us who are present for agreeing to be here to celebrate this special occasion with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Osborne. Now, as she would have mentioned, the BOA's Women in Sport Commission is responsible for this evening's Icon Award. And the chairperson is Ms. Marsha Boyce, and she'll be here to offer her words.
Ms. Sandra Osborne, President of the Barbados Olympic Association, Inc., Mr. Cameron Burke, Vice President of the BOA, Inc., Mr. Erskine Simmons, Secretary General of the BOA, and other members of the BOA Board of Directors, Mr. Glenn Clark, General Manager of the Barbados Olympic Association, Ms. Venetia Cadogan, Director of the National Olympic Committee, and other members of BOA staff, Mr. Neil Murrell, Director of the National Sports Council, Mr. William Warner, Program Officer of the Bureau of Gender Affairs. Our nominees this evening, Ms. June Ruther, Ms. Yaima Payne, and Ms. Marlene Hall. As you heard, she is currently away on sporting duty, as well as their esteemed guests. Our icons joining us once again, Ms. Esther Maynard, Ms. Sonia O'Neill, and Ms. Kathy Harper Hall, who is also currently fulfilling sporting duty overseas. Mr. Carl Padmore, Vice President of the Barbados Netball Association, Ms. Aisha Maycock, Assistant Secretary of the Athletics Association of Barbados, members of the BOA Women in Sport Commission, other specially invited guests, those joining us via the live stream on Facebook and YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is indeed my pleasure, as the new chair of the Women in Sport Commission, to join you in celebrating with our nominees and revealing this year's recipient of the Esther Maynard Icon Award. I can think of no better way to culminate the activities for International Women's Day and Women's Month than with the celebration of women in sport in Barbados. Now, the Esther Maynard Icon Award, as you would have heard, recognizes the outstanding achievements and excellence of Barbadian women in sport in line with this commission's purpose to promote, honor, and empower Barbadian girls and women across the local sporting landscape. Now, this year we engaged national federations with an open call for nominations from within their community. Out of that process, this evening the Commission presents 3 worthy nominees from the sports of athletics, wrestling, and netball. They are June Rudder, Yaima Payne, and Marlene Hall, respectively. Now, Marlene couldn't be here with us. She is on the job, so to speak, at the Caribbean Netball Association Under-16 Jean Pierre Tournament in Dominica. But each of our nominees has had a significant impact within and beyond her individual sphere of influence. Each has also directly influenced and empowered girls and women to be excellent in their chosen pursuits. They have all forged different pathways for the advancement of girls and women in some way, but ultimately benefiting the overall development of sport in Barbados. Now, the theme for this year's International Women's Day was Embrace Equity. Organizers proposed the aim to get the world talking about why equal opportunities aren't enough, suggesting that people start from different places, so true inclusion and belonging requires equitable action. So today, I want to challenge us to examine what equity looks like in a Barbadian sporting context. While the disparities in terms of sport participation rates between boys and girls, men and women, seen in many other jurisdictions around the world, though these may not be as overt in Barbados, it is clear that greater effort is required to channel female participation in the key areas of administration, management, and leadership in our sporting organizations, particularly at the highest levels of governance, and of course, in coaching. But we have a blueprint. When we reflect on our chosen icons to date, Miss Esther Maynard, the pioneer after whom this award is named, Miss Kathy Harper Hall, who is currently also fulfilling duties at that regional under-16 tournament, and Miss Sonia O'Neill, a stalwart and beacon within the aquatics community, we begin to see a network of trailblazers whose stories have and continue to inspire others. Building on that, it is our hope that a legacy of this award would be the establishment of a mentor-mentee pathway for our aspiring female leaders in sport to benefit from this wealth of knowledge and experience, where young leaders can tap into this network for guidance, support, and encouragement along their leadership journey. Now, recognizing that another aim of our commission is to raise the profile of women in sport in Barbados by promoting and celebrating accomplishments, we were pleased to once again partner with the National Primary Schools Athletics Championships to reward the top 3 female performers in the under 9, under 7, under 11, and under 13 divisions during the recent finals at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex. This type of recognition is important, as research shows that 1 in 3 girls drop out of sport by their late teens. In fact, a UK-based study released just this month reported that 43% of girls disengaged from sport following primary school. While this data might be specific to the UK, we know anecdotes within our local community might be similar. So with research on sport participation in Barbados, the implementation of data-driven programs can ensure that our young girls hold on to their love of and passion for sport as we continue to celebrate, recognize, and encourage them. American tennis pioneer and women in sport champion Billie Jean King is credited with the well-known phrase, "You have to see it to be it." Our commission supports this position, that increased visibility for women in sport and women's sport has a direct impact not only on participation, but in the areas of spectatorship and sponsorship. Increased visibility for female leaders in sport not only makes aspirations more tangible, but also offers a clear path for others to follow. This award celebration serves to do just that: highlight women, showcase their achievements to the public, and ultimately empower the younger generations, igniting them to be remarkable contributors of our society through sport. We believe in the value of recognizing the work of others. Those like this year's nominees for the Esther Maynard Icon Award, Marlene Hall, Yaima Payne, and June Rudder. May you continue to leave a lasting mark on your work in sport, continue to impact lives, and inspire many others along the way. Congratulations, ladies, and I thank you.
Thank you so much, Marsha. As Marsha said, it's all about celebrating women in sport this evening. I'll now pause as we have an item of entertainment by Renice Bonnet.
Never mind. Good evening, everyone. Like she would have said, my name is Renice Bonnet, and I'll be giving you a vocal rendition this evening. I ask that you pay keen attention to the lyrics as they speak to women being able to do whatever they put their minds to. Some dreams live on in time forever, and those dreams you want with all your heart. Ooh, so I'll go the distance this time, fall through with the promise I made. I put it all on the line. What I hoped for at last would be mine.
gonna be stronger. Know that I've tried my very best. I put my spirit to the test. If I could reach those days are meant to be remembered. And those days you rise above the stars, the stars. So I'll go the distance each time, seeing more the higher I climb. That the more I believe, all the more that these dreams will be mine. If I could reach higher, just for one moment touch the sky. For that one moment in my life, I'm gonna be stronger. Know that I've tried my very best. I put my spirit to the test. If I could reach if I could reach higher, just for one moment touch the sky. That one moment in my life, I'm gonna be stronger. Know that I've tried my very best. I put my spirit to the test. If I could reach, I'd reach out, reach out, reach out, reach, yeah. I'd reach out, reach out, reach, I'd reach out, reach so much higher. Know that I've tried my very best. I put my spirit to the test. If I could reach, if I could reach. Happy International Women's Month.
Thank you so much, Ranice. I know many of you, as we're sporting persons, remember that song as an Olympic anthem. Very well done. Thank you. As we mentioned before, we have 3 nominees this evening. Marlene Hall in netball, Yaima Payne in wrestling, and June Rudder in athletics. I now invite Mr. Charles Gill to tell us a little more about Miss Marlene Hall.
Good evening, all. This is a citation for Marlene Hall. Marlene Hall has been participating in sports as a netballer and track and field athlete from the age of 12, when she first came to Barbados from Jamaica, and entered the Island School in September 1973. Under the guidance and influence of her mother, Kathy Harper Hall, she also started playing club netball in a few months for United Athletic Club. From those early years, she showed signs of leadership and passion to succeed among her peers. In netball, her favorite sport, she was a member of the national under-19 team to tour St. Vincent in 1976, and went on to represent Barbados at the senior level until 1986, serving as vice president in 1982. In 1983, she acquired her advanced level umpiring certification and has officiated at the local and regional level for many years. She developed a passion for coaching and training. She developed a passion for coaching and training young netballers in particular, and served as coach of the National Netball Youth Team in 1991 to 1998. Assistant coach to the senior team to Scotland, and manager of senior netball team to Caribbean and Commonwealth Games, 1992 and 1998. As head coach of United Athletic Club netball squad from early 90s, she had shaped the lives of many young girls and ladies as players, as well as productive citizens who still serve the sport in leadership roles as well as in their chosen careers. As a certified course conductor in the CA/NOC Sports Coaching Program and BCC Anti-Vet Council Certified Trainer of Trainers, she has further impacted more boys and girls in sports through the training of coaches. After completing her master's in business administration and entrepreneurship at Georgia State in 2020, she joined the Caribbean Healthy Lifestyle Program in 2021 as a trainer, life coach, and mentor, where she has positively changed the lives of hundreds of other young men and women across the Caribbean. Working as a member of the Cable and Wireless Management Team and serving on the board of United Athletic Club and the Barbados YMCA were her platforms for educating, supporting, and coaching women in management, leadership, and administration, in business and sport. Marlene is now a project manager, entrepreneur, and business consultant of Success U Inc., providing services in consulting, bookkeeping, coaching, and training. She continues to be a role model for girls and young women, showing the way to success despite limitations and setbacks, finding and using her passion to enable and empower others while continually working on improving and excelling in her career and community service. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gill. As we just heard from Marlene, she not only has shaped netball in previous years. Look at this now. She's not here because she's actually there still shaping the young netballers in Barbados. So let's get a round of applause again for Marlene. I now invite Mrs. Gail Craig Archer to give the citation for Miss Yaima Payne.
Yaima Payne is making her mark as a woman in sport, particularly pushing the boundaries in male-dominated spaces. Yaima has worked continuously to integrate girls into physical activity, particularly in the sport of wrestling. She strives for equitable awareness in the sport and have given inspiration to many young ladies. She stands as a good role model not only in the wrestling arena, but as a beacon of inclusion for girls and women of other religious backgrounds, being a Muslim, breaking barriers and raising awareness of opportunities to all women in sport with varying backgrounds. She is currently the only female Greco-Roman wrestling coach in this region and has showcased her attributes to lead in this male-dominated space. Yaima has uplifted many young ladies to give the sport a chance, highlighting how wrestling can be as equally rewarding to both females and males. One of the ways she does this is by ensuring acknowledgement is shared equitably among participants. Yaima believes in supporting females in other sports as well, participating in seminars on gender equality and programs to help the younger generation to follow their goals in sports. Yaima represents women in wrestling across the Caribbean region under United World Wrestling Americas, the UWWA. She also represented Barbados on 3 occasions in the Women in Wrestling Global Forum in Mexico, Colombia, and Turkey. Her work in the sport of wrestling continues to be recognized, as Yaima has been nominated as a Coach of the Year several times. In 2018, she was named the Best Administrator, and most recently was once again named the Coach of the Year by the National Sports Council for the 2022 sporting year. Yaima was recently selected to represent Barbados in the prestigious Women in Sport High Performance Coaching Pathway, that's WISH. This amazing young lady is truly blazing her own trail as a woman in sport. Ladies and gentlemen, Yaima Payne.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Craig Archer. And when we think of Yaima, we think of how women break barriers among the men. I now invite Miss Kimberly Rudder to give the citation for Mrs. June Rudder.
All protocols observed. June Rudder has dedicated her life to the service and development of sport, particularly track and field in Barbados. Born in small town St. John, she was educated at the Christchurch Girls Foundation School and the Earlston Teacher Training College between 1973 to 1975. Miss Rudder then was awarded a scholarship where she studied health and recreation at the Netherlands College of Physical Education in Perth, Australia in 1979. Following this formal teacher education and training, she would have also earned a number of IAAF technical official and coaching certifications. In her youth, she gravitated and excelled in the high jump and long jump. In the days prior to jumping in what we now know as the sandpit, she would have competed in the high jump with a best performance of 1.5 meters landing on grass. She is currently still the record holder of the long jump at the Christchurch Foundation School, leaping a distance of 5.81 meters. This success led to her representing Barbados at the Central American and Caribbean Games in 1966. June Rudder entered the teaching service in 1971 and was assigned to the Springer Memorial School, where she dedicated her working years to the development of the girls under her charge, both academically and athletically. She did a brief stint teaching geography and then focused her work on the development of the physical education program at the school. Ms. Rudder saw it fit that the school should offer a variety of sporting experiences to students, and so she implemented and expanded school programs to offer a diverse number of sports to cater for the varying interests of the large number of students. In 1977, this meant the introduction of volleyball, badminton, basketball, swimming, and trampoline at the school. She then was further inspired and initiated the construction of a weight room and a table tennis room at the school. The result of this, her most noted work yet. After setting in place the infrastructure to develop sporting talent among the students with varying interests, June went on now to head the physical education department, coach the students to compete and take the championship at the Barbados Secondary School Athletic Championships for the first time in 1998. The Springer Memorial School went on to win that title for the next 15 years in succession. During this time, June was also torn from her charges for higher service as she served in the capacity as secretary on the committee to organize the inter-school sports and as meet director between 1986 to 2001. In her service at this level, she supervised the introduction of the use of the Meet Manager, which is the computer software program, and the use of electronic timing to run the sports. This eliminated the copious and time-consuming manual recording of over 1,000 athletes' performances for the championships. Alongside her service to the school sports program, she was a highly active and committed member of the Amateur Athletic Association, now AAB. A life member of the AAB, she served as meet director for several of the developmental competitions held on Saturdays at the National Stadium for athletes across Barbados. Ms. Rudder was secretary of the Amateur Athletic Association between 1989 to 1994. After the climax of inter-school sports, she often missed many an Easter celebration with her family as she served as coach or manager for the Barbados team heading to Carifta Games in some nearby territory. Ms. Rudder served as coach of the Caribbean Union of Teachers CUT team and also managed Barbados track and field teams to the CAC Games and World Junior competitions in 1999. In 2001, she retired from the teaching service, but by no means retired from developing athletics for school-age athletes, nor running for the wider community. She became an entrepreneur and founded her sports management business, Elite Sports, offering race management and electronic timing. The well-loved Barbados Relay Fair was her brainchild and came to reality in 2003 as an enhancement to the national athletic season. The focus of this event is to not only create an energetic and highly competitive athletic championship to schools, but also to host overseas school teams to intensify the competition on local soil. She has spearheaded and managed the team that produced this event annually, hosting some 17 editions thus far. Ms. Rudder has been in the forefront of the development of the National Road Race Program through offering electronic timing services and guiding many others in race management. She has directed the Heart of Barbados race since 2003, when it started as an international event fostering home-based tourism in the community. In 2006, she coordinated the Novel Schools Relay aspect of the Run Barbados series, and since has introduced a number of other 5K and 10K events under her business name Elite Sports. She produces Step It Up Race in St. Andrew in August and the Glow Run in November. Alongside all this, Ms. Rudder is a wife and a mother of 3, living and raising her family in Allenview, St. Thomas, since 1980. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. I don't want to age myself, but Miss Rudder was one of my coaches. I now invite Marsha back here, Marsha Boyce back, and she will do presentations to our nominees. So I invite now Mr. Charles Gill to accept the award on behalf of Miss Marlene Hall. Thank you, Mr. Gill. Jaima Payne. And last but no means least, Mrs. June Rudder. Let's get a round of applause again for all of our nominees. Now that you know the nominees, now that you've heard all the work that they would have done, it's time for us to now present the Esther Maynard Icon Award for 2023. And this is where I invite none other than Miss Esther Maynard to let us know who that person will be for 2023. And I'll also like to invite Mrs. Sandra Osborne as well to do the presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure this evening to present the Icon Award to, but before I do, I would like to congratulate all of the nominees, all of whom, except for Ms. Bain, which I'm meeting for the first time, have had the pleasure of knowing for many, many years and have seen the excellent work that they've done. It's a pleasure to meet you, Ms. Bain, and hear of your excellent work that you're doing. But my honor this evening is to present the award to our winner this year, none other than Mrs. June Rudder. June and I have walked many of those years you've heard about together. Not always agreeing, but always being friends.
Don't go anywhere. It's your turn to.
All protocols observed. I'd like to say a special thank you for all those responsible for nominating me for this award. It certainly came as a surprise. It seemed to have come out of nowhere. I certainly didn't have it on my radar. I want to congratulate the other nominees for also doing good work in sports. I want to thank those people who have helped me along this journey to achieve my goal. My immediate family, my extended family, my track and field family, with the many, many volunteers who have made it possible for me to achieve those dreams that I've had. with respect to developing that sport. With my work colleagues at Spring Memorial School who have supported me as we try to get the girls to dream the impossible dream, and generally to everybody who has helped me to get this far. I continue to work in sports this time, developing the road race program. So if any of you are interested, the road race program is thriving. We had a break for COVID, but we are back on track, so I invite you to come out. You can walk, you can run, you can skate, whatever. Thank you very much, and I appreciate the nomination. Thank you. The award.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Rudder, and congratulations. It's at this time that I invite Ms. Althea Belgrave from the Women in Sport Commission to offer our vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the Barbados Olympic Association, Inc., Women in Sports Commission. We want to extend a special thanks to everyone who made this event possible. Madam President, Ms. Sandra Osborne, we thank you for your leadership and key opening remarks. Mrs. Esther Maynard, for allowing us to continue to honor in your name and celebrate in person with us. Along with fellow icons, Ms. Sonia O'Neill, we thank you for your support. To our newest icons, Ms. June Ruther, and our nominees, Ms. Marlena Hall and Ms. Naima Payne, we thank you for your continued contribution to sport in Barbados and to the development of women and girls in sport. We also want to extend a special thanks to you, the National Sporting Federations, for participating in the nomination process this year. To our specially invited guests, including Mr. Neil Murrell, Director of the National Sports Council, and Mr. William Warner, Program Officer, Bureau of Gender Affairs, we thank you for taking the time to come and celebrate with us. It takes a team to put together an event like this. We offer a special thank you to the staff of the Barbados Olympic Association, as well as the members of the Women in Sport Commission. We also have special commendation for our production team led by Vivino Simmons for ensuring our viewers could celebrate this with us virtually via Facebook and YouTube. For her lovely rendition, we thank Renice Bonnet. We also want to thank our MC, Anne-Marie Burke, who expertly guided us throughout the evening proceeding. Before I hand you back over to Ms. Burke, let me once again express our sincerest thanks to everyone who participated in the success of this evening's event in some way. Good evening.
Thank you so much, Althea. And that brings us to the end of this evening's ceremony. I want to thank everybody who came out to support our icons. Ms. Esther, of course, pioneer of the award. Ms. Sandra Osborne, thank you for welcoming us into your home. And, of course, members of your staff, fellow icons, ladies and gentlemen, supporters, everybody, thank you so much. And do enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.